Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Got a couple of things to talk about in this video, namely Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is going to have a capped frame rate in its blackout mode, at least on launch. Don't worry, it's not like it's going to be capped at 30 or 60 frames per second. It's going to have a pretty high cap. And it does look like the cap will be raised sometime in the future, but I do want to take a look at that, and I want to give you guys my overall assessment of my anticipation level going into the game and why I'm still a little skeptical even though I enjoyed the beta. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the drama that has been going on with CD Projekt Red, the developers of The Witcher and the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077. If you guys don't know, The Witcher is based on a series of novels. CD Projekt Red and the author of those novels had worked out a deal for CDPR to use that license in gaming, and now that author is looking for more compensation. And lastly, you guys know I have to go over great hardware deals available. We've got a great deal on an older GPU, an EVGA GeForce GTX 970 that is manufactured refurbished directly from EVGA. Great deal on that, and we'll be taking a look at that at the end of this video. First, let's talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Okay, so one of the main selling points of that game is the new Battle Royale Blackout mode. I know a lot of people were memeing on it on the fact that it's another game that is introducing Battle Royale, but I thought with this game, they're not actually half-assing it. This is something that they want to make a legitimate experience, and of course, they are trying to cash in on the hype, but at the end of the day, I've said it over and over again, this is a business. However, we do know, and this was posted directly on Reddit, by the Treyarch PC Reddit page, and it was about the Black Ops 4 launch on PC. The game is going to be capped to 120 frames per second. That's their plan at launch. However, they are saying they're doing this to ensure the moment the game launches that it has high stability for every player, and they do plan to raise to 144 frames per second as soon as the servers are stable. And assuming all looks good, they want to enable uncapped frame rates within the first few days. They do also know that zombies and multiplayer modes will be uncapped starting immediately on day one. Now, Call of Duty and PC have always had a rocky relationship. A lot of the games on PC just didn't work very well. Personally speaking, I had issues with games like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I had issues with pretty much every Call of Duty game, and I think the biggest detriment to Call of Duty on PC is the fact that the player base dies out very, very quickly. For a game that is considered to be one of the biggest multiplayer franchises in the world, Call of Duty dies out very quickly on PC. Again, Call of Duty just doesn't resonate on PC as much as it does on console, but this time around, with the fact that Blackout mode is being introduced, with the fact that it is exclusive to Battle.net, now traditionally speaking, I would say that this would be a detriment to the game. However, at the same time, with it being on Battle.net, that means it's gonna be featured very, very prominently, whereas on Steam, yes, it's gonna be featured for a couple days, but then it will be filtered out. So let's hope for better with Black Ops 4. I'm hoping with the introduction of Blackout, it does resonate with PC gamers a little bit more. And most of all, let's hope that the player base remains intact for at least a couple of months, and it goes without saying that any game is gonna fall off a little bit, especially when we get closer to whenever the next Call of Duty game is gonna be released. But for the life cycle of Black Ops 4, let's hope that there is a sizable player base on PC. Moving on from that, I want to go over some crazy drama that's going on with CD Projekt Red, the developers of Witcher, and Andrzej Sapkowski. I completely butchered his name. He's the author of the Witcher novels. Of course, for CD Projekt Red to make The Witcher the video game, they needed to work out an agreement with him so they could use his license. That agreement was made based on what I've read. That agreement was a one-time fee. So CD Projekt Red paid that one-time fee, and then they moved on and created the game. Now, I don't know how accurate that is, but all we do know was an agreement was made and chances are contracts were signed, and even if the contract wasn't great for the author, at the end of the day, you signed the contract. You can't go against the word of the contract because you signed it. Even now, if you look back and you think you completely effed up, it doesn't matter because at the time you signed the contract, and now CD Projekt Red has made The Witcher into this global franchise, and hell, they've probably directly impacted the sales of the novels as well, and he ended up making more money through that. If you sign the contract, you have to honor the contract, so I'll see how this story plays out. Maybe more trinkets of information will come out and it'll change my tune, but for now I do have to side with CDPR. And lastly, for those of you looking for a pretty good deal on a lower end GPU, at least lower end by today's standards, an EVGA GeForce GTX 970, a refurbished model is available over on eBay for $130. I would say that's a very good deal on a 970, and it still holds up decently well today. Now, it is a 4GB GPU, but everybody will bring up the fact that it is more so 3.5 gigabytes. There was some huge drama with the 970 back in the day. Really gave Nvidia a black eye, which they have seemingly recovered since then, but that was some gigantic drama back then. But now $130 for a 970, even though it is refurbished, considering it is coming from EVGA directly, you're gonna have a good return policy on it. I would say that this is a pretty good deal for those of you on a budget. As far as a power supply that you want to get with this, considering it is an older GPU, GPU, and back then it was on the higher end side of things. Get at least a 500 watt PSU and you should be fine. Honestly, you could probably get away with a 450 watt, but to be on the safe side, I would recommend at least a 500 watt power supply. So that's gonna conclude this video. Again, we're coming up on the release of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on PC. Are you excited for this game at all? Let me know what the anticipation level is for you guys, because I really want to see this game do well enough where there's an active community. That's really all I want, because that has been one of the detrimental factors of Call of Duty on PC, because the community just hasn't been active, and maybe that goes hand in hand with the fact that the games haven't been all too great. Hopefully Black Ops 4 can rewrite that story. CD Projekt Red is going through a little bit of drama right now. Hopefully it gets resolved amicably, but I will be following this story. And again, I'll leave a link for the GTX 970 from EVGA, manufacturer refurbished, $130, really great deal on that. That's gonna conclude this video. Of course, if you guys have a request for a future video, leave it in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.